Hi, friends. This reflection is for Tuesday, September 7th, and it's Tuesday of the 23rd week of Ordinary Time. With the 20th anniversary of September 11th this weekend, the staff at St. Charles is reflecting on how the events of that day have shaped and formed and affected our faith. In some ways, 20 years feels like a lifetime ago, and yet for many of us, we remember the details of that day like it was yesterday. As I reflected on this, I was thinking about a story in the Jewish tradition. It's about a rabbi who taught his followers to memorize and place the prayers and holy words on their heart. One day, a student asked the rabbi why he used the phrase "on your heart" and not "in your heart." And the rabbi replied, "Only time and grace can place the essence of these stories in your heart. We recite them and learn them and put them on our hearts, hoping that someday, when our heart breaks, the words fall in." The experience of September 11th made many of us look at the world a bit differently and recognize how much we need our faith, and that's our faith that got us through and guided us that day. In today's gospel reading, Jesus has spent some time in prayer, and in the morning he gathers his apostles with him and they go out, and this is what the gospel says. A great crowd of his disciples and a large number of people from all of Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon came to hear him and be healed of their diseases. And even those who were tormented by unclean spirits were cured. Everyone in the crowd sought to touch him because power came forth from him and healed them all. You could just imagine all these people coming to hear Jesus for healing, for comfort. 20 years ago on September 11th, the same thing happened around the United States. That evening, I had to explain to my young children what happened that day. We prayed together, and then we decided to go to Mass at St. Charles that evening. This was really before email and texting were used much, and the church was packed. But it wasn't just St. Charles. People gathered around the country to pray. We needed to gather. We needed to pray. We need to hear the words that would help us, that would console us, and that would get us through. I think of today's gospel and the people coming to Jesus just as we did and continue to do thousands of years later. While we turn to Jesus and go to him, especially in our time of need, Jesus comes to us in our time of need. When we gathered to pray that night on September 11th, I felt a bit comforted knowing that everyone at the Trade Center or in Pennsylvania or Washington, D.C. were not alone at their time of crisis. Jesus was with them. 20 years later, we've seen a lot of hurt in our world. And as I record this today, many in the world are suffering, many right around us. How do human beings suffer indescribable loss and heartbreak? How do they keep going? How do you get up the next day when your heart's broken, when you're afraid, when horrible things have happened and your earth has shaken? I've thought about that so many times over the past years. The only thing I can think of is maybe the reason is hope. All we have is hope for a better tomorrow. We have hope that God's kingdom will come. And as people of faith, we have hope that God will always be with us through the ordinary Tuesdays and through the worst moments of our lives. And we have hope that we will see God's kingdom. Like many people on September 11th, I prayed a lot. I prayed that the Our Father, especially that line, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." It's through prayer that our hope grows, that our hope is strengthened. Another thing I learned that I've kept with me since September 11th is that the idea that no day is an ordinary, regular day. Not one single day is just ordinary and regular and not important. Every single moment matters. Every day is a gift. September 11th was an ordinary day. It was a Tuesday, like today. The weather was glorious, and most of us were just going about our regular routine. But then, many, many were called to do extraordinary things. We know that firefighters and first responders and police were heroic. But there are also so many stories of ordinary people helping each other that day, Regular people doing heroic things, things they never thought that they could or would do. Ordinary people not thinking of themselves, but taking care of those around them. We don't know when and how we'll be called to show love and care for each other, and it might just be in a very unexpected time and unexpected place. The first person recorded that we lost on September 11th was Father Michael Judge. He was a chaplain for the New York City Fire Department, and he was at the World Trade Center ministering to a fallen firefighter when he was hit by debris and killed. It's a really powerful image of him being carried from the site. He was known for carrying around cards with a prayer that he handed out to anyone who might need it. 20 years later, I think of this prayer and it still resonates with me, and it has impacted my life, and there are words that I carry with me. This is his prayer. Lord, take me where you want me to go. Let me meet who you want me to meet. Tell me what you want me to say, and keep me out of your way. I hope you take time this week to reflect on the events of that day, if you remember them, how they've affected you, how your life was changed, how God's been a part of your life and a part of your faith, and how it continues to grow, even through all of our challenging times that we still face. I hope to see you soon, and until then, I wish you peace.